evening. I'd like to call to order the Leesburg Area Board of School Directors regular monthly board meeting on Wednesday, September 23rd, 2020 at 7:30 p.m. in the Leesburg High School auditorium and also being YouTube live via the internet. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Please be seated. Ms. Paul, I have a roll call, please.
Here, Mrs. Lovelace here, Mr. Lovelace here, Mr. Shea,
Here.
Ms. Stewart here, Ms. Thompson here, Mr. Green.
Here. Thank you. And I need a motion to approve the minutes from the public works session agenda setting meeting on August 12th, 2020, and the regular monthly board meeting minutes on August 26th, 2020. Do I have a motion?
Second.
Comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Against? Abstentions? Motion passes. Thank you. Ms. Tarr, could you read off the executive sessions, please?
Executive sessions were held on September 9th, 2020 at 6 p.m. with school board for county situation issues from the high school library and keeping up September 3rd, 2020 at 6:30 school board for personal issues and legal issues and candidates for high school library. Public work session was held on September 9th, 2020 at 6:30 in the Leesburg High School auditorium.
Okay. And the public works session?
I'm
Oh,
sorry. You want me to do it again?
no, that's fine. We have okay, board committee reports. Student representatives report. Aaron Intermediate Unit, Ms. Candy Stewart.
We met last Tuesday via Zoom, and the biggest takeaway from that is the board of directors will be beginning a search for a new director because our current director will be retiring next June. That's the biggest thing.
Thank you. Leonard monthly report, Mr. Shea.
Yeah.
Ms. Lovelace.
Yes, Lenape received approval by the school board to offer free lunches, breakfast and lunch, starting on September 16th, going to September 31st. So all students, no matter what socioeconomic situation, can get free lunches. On October 6th, Lenape is planning to host a fall OAC meeting, the Occupational Advisory Committee. Meeting will be virtual. All board members are invited. Lenape received a $125,608 Perkins secondary grant. The money will be used for buying computers and snapshot in time. The total enrollment at Lenape is 524 students.
Thank you. Armstrong County Tax Collection Committee report by me, Mr. Brady. We have not had a meeting again yet. I think our next meeting should be in October, and that would be our second one and the final one for the year. So look forward to getting some information. PSBA member liaison report, Mrs. Melanie Knight.
I have given the board a letter from the Secretary of Education that July, and the U.S. Department of Education indicated that there will be no federal waiver from required testing be granted for the 2021 school year. With many school districts operating in all virtual or hybrid format, administering safe assessment with appropriate security and monitoring will be impossible or impractical according to department. With no federal relief available, PSBA has asked Pennsylvania Department of Education to provide flexibility and guidance on how to administer assessments safely and securely. And in the event the PDE does not take action or does not have the authority to act, PSBA will urge general assembly.
Administrative reports.
Yeah, I'm gonna go over the changes to what I'm recommending for health and safety plan, but before we do that, I would like Dr. Keebler to address, changes that I noticed that we're thinking about, that you're requesting for the master calendar that we believe will benefit our teachers, our students, and our parents. Dr. Keebler, would you mind speaking on that?
Good evening. So we're going over some scheduling this week. It's brought to my attention that on our calendar, with everything going on, we overlooked that parent teacher conferences are coming up. We had on the calendar October 15th from 5 to 7 in the evening. And then October 16th, the students will opt with an activity day. And that's where we finish up our parent teacher conferences on that day. Obviously, we're trying to get our kids back there. That's within 3 weeks of right now. So thinking back and looking at that, I talked to Mr. Rogers, met with Mrs. Osborne, talked to Mrs. Osborne on the phone today about it. And looking at our calendar right now, we're off Wednesday, Thursday, Friday for Thanksgiving, November 25th, 26th, 27th. We would ask to change the activity day from October 16th, which is that Friday, have the kids in session that day, and have the Tuesday before Thanksgiving, which is November 24th, as an activity. Redoing that, we would have in parent-teacher conferences the evening of Monday, November 23rd, and Tuesday, November 24th. The students would then have a longer extended holiday break for Thanksgiving. And give our teachers about 6 or 7 weeks to get to know the kids as we get them here before we go to parent-teacher conferences.
Are there any comments on that? If you're not opposed to putting on the agenda, we put it on for the first meeting in October. If you're okay with that, the reason why is because right after the first meeting is when the state is supposed to be held for the kids to be off. Any objections to doing that? Beginning of October. Okay. And I will, whenever I put an update tomorrow, I will notify parents if that's going to be on the agenda item for October 8th. Is that okay? Okay, so I don't want to tell people, 2 days before the date.
Do we need to vote on that as a first meeting? also?
Yeah, we'll do it, we'll go the first meeting of October, or we can go last meeting, as long as I know you're okay with that, I'm okay with starting. That is huge.
This is a change to the calendar.
Yeah.
So we should vote on it.
Prior to
before.
Okay, so that'll be a voting item for October. Okay, I would like to go over the changes and recommendations that I would like to make for our return to school plan. Mr. George, can people hear me?
What?
Am I able to be heard?
Yeah, just keep
I just want to
looking.
make sure that I'm loud and clear. So in June, the district voted on bringing the students back to school full time. On July 3rd, the Pennsylvania Department of Education and the Department of Health recommended that masks are required in school when we cannot guarantee 6 feet of separation, which we cannot guarantee 6 feet of separation when students are back to school full time. In August, the Department of Education and the Department of Health recommended the districts use the matrix they came up with a matrix and recommended the districts use the matrix to make decisions on chosen educational lines. In addition, it was announced that masks were required at all times, regardless if they were 6 feet apart or not. The matrix recommended the following. If we are in substantial category deemed by the Department of Health, we should only educate virtually. In moderate, we could do virtual or hybrid. And in low cases of COVID, full-time face-to-face instruction would be a recommendation. Leesburg Area School District has been in the moderate category since the matrix was developed. Both Westmoreland and Armstrong counties have remained at moderate since August, when the publication was made on August 18th. The union asked, we all agreed, and the union supported the fact that we start school virtually to give them time to become proficient in the Google Classroom. The teachers have worked tremendously hard, and we have seen them grow in leaps and bounds this weekend. The board voted to have virtual education for the first 20 days of school. This decision was based on the matrix recommendations and teacher requests. The first day of an alternative instruction model would be October 5th, 2020. Not all districts have followed these recommendations. Leesburg Area School District chose to follow the recommendations from the experts, which in this particular situation was the Department of Education and the Department of Health. I am now comfortable saying that the vast majority of teachers, meaning all of them, are proficient in teaching through Google Google Classroom. This will benefit the district tremendously moving forward should we be forced to teach virtually in the future. It is a benefit because we can now teach Google Classroom on snow days, thus eliminating making up days. It is a benefit because our teachers have the tools necessary to teach live through Google Classroom while having a group of virtual learners at home. It is a benefit because all students now have equal access to home education. All of these benefits were not possible in the spring. We have moved leaps and bounds in flexibility and ability in teaching our students in any circumstance. I'm very proud of our staff. With all of the above being said, and after monitoring the data and watching other schools for the past week, I am comfortable making the following recommendation. My recommendation is the week of October 5th. That is the date that the school board agreed to reassess. So we will do just 1 week of hybrid. So students with last name K through L will come to school on Monday and Tuesday. Students in letters M through Z will come to school Thursday and Friday. Now we understand families have different last names, and we will work with each family so that all students come to school on the same day. This will allow students for 1 week to understand and learn new procedures without all students being here. Their comfort level is extremely important to us, and only having half the kids in the building will give our staff ample time to teach them new procedures such as the entrance ways, exit ways, and hallway procedures. Wednesday will be used as what we call the pause day for students to make up any work, for custodial staff to do deep cleaning, and for us to meet as a staff to evaluate how things went on Monday and Tuesday to make changes for Thursday and Friday. This is based on the recommendation of all the administrators and our staff. This will allow teachers to learn very quickly, learn how to live teach to students while also mainstreaming it to students at home. On October 12th, Monday, October 12th, 2020, is when I recommend we come back for all students grades K to 12 for full-time instruction. Live teaching will be available for all students selecting full-time virtual instruction. Live teaching will be recorded for future viewing by students. I would also like to report in August when we last sent the survey home to parents, 40% of our students wanted to have virtual education. We can call every family that requested that to see if they had changed their mind on their education choice, and we are now reporting 90% return rate. Please keep in mind that if there is a second outbreak of COVID, as we are being told is possible, this recommendation could change. Since March 13, 2020, schools have been forced to adapt and make decisions very quickly. We are being asked to make decisions in a moment's notice and then being told something else a week later. It has been frustrating for me as a school leader, for teachers that are responsible for the instruction, and for students and parents at home who are constantly having to change based on the limited information that we have. We thank everyone for surviving this pandemic together. From the very beginning, I've been very clear that we want our students in our classrooms. I believe it is time for that to happen. This does not mean, absolutely does not mean that I can guarantee that no student or staff member will contract COVID-19. This is a very real possibility. We have done everything that we can to prevent the risk and outbreak of COVID-19. These mitigating factors include spacing student desks apart as much as possible, with the average of being 3 to 6 feet, one-way directional hallways, student entrances being divided by 3, buses will be brought in through the high school, both elementary and high school, walkers will come through the elementary, and car riders will come through the cafe. Student desks were being cleaned after students leave for the classroom to go to the next class. Cafeteria seats are 6 feet apart. Alternative spaces will be utilized to ensure students are 6 feet apart. Air filters have been changed to the recommended product that stops the most airborne particles from circulating through. A new air handler, after being voted on tonight, will be ordered and installed in the cafeteria. So that will be our largest group of students at any one time, and we want to ensure that air is being handled correctly. We have rotated custodial staff to clean common areas throughout the day, which includes door handles, hallway handles, and bathrooms. We will do deep cleaning every night. Outside
visitors will be restricted and building usage by outside organizations will be eliminated. Hand-free bottled water dispensers have been ordered, currently being installed, and they will continue to be installed prior to October 5th. Hand sanitizer is available in every classroom and in the hallways. Parents are encouraged to drive their students to school if possible, and masks are required on the buses at all times. By government ruling, masks are mandated for all employees, students, and visitors unless a doctor note is provided. And this is not a mitigating factor, but I want everyone to be aware that we will be offering free breakfast and free lunch for every student pre-K through 12 now and through December 31st for one last thing for students to worry about. We will continue to update and change our procedures as new mandates and suggestions for the Pennsylvania Department of Education and the Department of Health. Now, this leads me to something very important. What is to have a COVID case? What is something, a positive case is given to me from the Department of Health? When I spoke to the Department of Health, it has been reported the Department of Health will notify me that we have a positive case after the contact tracing has been done. After speaking to superintendents from other districts, and this also has been confirmed by the Department of Health, I will be advised to send a letter home to parents after the suspected case comes back positive and those impacted have been contacted. In all cases, both suspected and positive cases, the Department of Health will tell me what to do. The school is not responsible for confirming cases or completing contact tracing. So at this time, I would like to open it up for discussion, questions, concerns, anything that the board would like to discuss. I'm happy to help answer.
Question. You said that this was from recommendations of the administration and staff. So you're saying that the staff wants to do with the project.
That was the compromise because some of the staff displayed that they want to do just hybrid, and some of the staff wanted to do it full time.
I truly don't see a benefit of hybrid. I mean, I understand what you're saying. That's a benefit, but educationally, there's no benefit in my mind. And I tend to think that faculty would feel the same way as far as the educational benefits.
Yes, and I would say that I don't think it's ideal either. I mean, for me as an administrator, I recommend simply that we can pass it to.
And that makes sense, but I think that they reactivated about that because I'm talking to as many parents as I've talked to, and I'm sure we'll hear some tonight. I just think that hybrid isn't an answer to any of these problems as far as the educational problems. And I would like to see us just go back for 5 full days. I'd like to start next week, but that probably isn't feasible logistically. So, and I know we said October 5th, and I was a big pusher for October 5th. And I would take that back right now in Quincy because we could have started last week for 5 days because I know the staff is ready. And I know the
Everyone's ready. So now at this point, it's Wednesday night. We would have to get all the buses already scheduled. We would have to make sure the bus drivers are back by Monday. We would need to make all these people that got into the webcam. So we couldn't guarantee 100% success rate for learners at home on Monday.
So what I would like to see, and that's my opinion, is October 5th, 5 days. And for any staff members that want to hybrid, I apologize if this is what I feel is best for the students, and that's the priority.
Do you feel that you mastered virtual in the 4 weeks we had it?
I think that virtual is not for everybody. And so I think as a staff, yes, I firmly believe that, yes. Because do I think everyone at home is comfortable and running virtual?
I didn't ask that. The reason I asked this is because if it took us 4 weeks to master virtual, why do we think it's going to only take us 2 days to master a complete rerouting of the school and change behavior? You're asking all these kids to come back to school that they're used to, having only 2 days of quote practice in the brand new environment, and we think they're going to pick it up right like that.
Well, yeah, I do. As superintendent leader in school, I do believe that simply because, I mean, it's not, you're not asking to perform rocket science all of a sudden. It's just one way hallway, it's that. It's something.
Do you think 5-year-olds can get used to a mask in 2 days?
Yeah, I mean.
Well, if everybody's grandchildren, 9, 5, 3, and 4, I think. You know, are wearing masks when they go out, getting used to it.
3 hours a day.
Not 3 hours a day, yeah, no, it's gonna be an adjustment.
So that's exactly my point. So all I'm saying is consider this an adjustment. It's gonna be an adjustment for everybody. Let's give time to adjust.
I work in this from back 5 days. That, from what I have seen, kids are much better at wearing masks, being okay with wearing masks in school, than the adults who are struggling with it, because I see it in front of a room and I talk all day. Kids sit and are fine. So I don't think that is something that's going to be terrible for them. It's more, I think it's terrible as a parent. Think about it, worry about it.
And I would just add on that really quickly, and when I talked to their schools and other superintendents, that was my number one question, because I know our teachers were very concerned with students not following the mask rule, and then they have not had issues.
My other concern about the 1 week though, is that you're asking parents to, because your kids come all day and you work out. Now we're gonna say like for 1 week, now you're gonna work out a couple days. I wanna pick them up before and after. And then next week, then you have to do, I think it's like, it's too much.
Right, I
Yeah.
I have probably a totally different view on this. I don't understand why we do not follow the recommendations to be either all virtual or hybrid. What I would like to see for an entire month is the hybrid situation that will give parents a couple of days break. The children, their social interaction that they're looking for. And I think it's a mistake to downplay the possibility of major COVID outbreak in the school. My granddaughter's school started out with 4 COVID cases. It's now at 500 quarantine students. That can happen. So when we make these votes and we make these decisions, it's very important to not just hope for the best, but to follow the real potential of a major problem and just to monitor the hybrid for one more month. I think it's the safe, cautious thing to do. That's my opinion.
Yeah, for me, I like to see it start tomorrow, so I like to see it start on day 1. That being said, I would like to see it started as soon as we can feasibly do it on October 5th. I truly believe our young people are adaptive, way better than we are, wearing masks. We've had no trouble with sanity, everywhere I've been, kids can get it way better than we can any day. I have a lot of faith in them, we need to get them back to classrooms, back to the need to be at.
And granted, you know, say something, you know, I know one grandson is 5, he wants to come down, goes to the outdoor event. That doesn't mean he's making a decision. But I think kids are more aware than what we think they are at that age. But, so Lisa, you're saying 1 month of hiding?
I just simply asked how we can become experts in the process in 2 days. And it's not just the mask, that was all I had.
I'll address the hybrid on that, just so the board knows. I know 100% of high school teachers want to come back as soon as possible. As we started this whole plan, my job was to figure out how we're going to have 5 to 10-year-olds come through that. We're eating in the cafeteria as well as the gym. I need custodians to move the tables by 11:30 to set them up to get through class in there. We need to put classes in there and then have it cleaned back up for the afternoon on that. We have 3 different exits that are coming in. So I have kindergartners who will be coming in the high school door. I have them coming all the way down the hallway. So taking care of that. I have exit times for walkers that we're going to do broken up. They used to always walk out together. Now some will come out down by the old kindergarten room. Some will come out by first grade. We're doing 305, 310, 315, so they're not all out there at the same time. So that's where my ask for the whole hybrid is for. And the bigger part of that is we still have 44 kids in the elementary that we're accountable for the big cyber education. and our teachers have never been live with our plan. When they go live, if they go on the hybrid plan, the kids who are home will follow that schedule. So they will get their entire schedule and watch it live and watch it later on. That gives our teachers the chance to see how that's going to work. A lot of other schools are not doing it that way on there. Our kids who choose cyber will be able to watch every section of class live while the teachers are teaching. If they can't get on at that time because of the time restraint, it will then be recorded and posted later that day. Currently, we're working a day ahead, so they come out at 6 p.m. Our new plan is put it out that day so the kids can work on it at night. But my ask from that is to make sure that I can ensure the safety of all of our kids in the elementary, as well as having people in the right places as they come in at that time. I would rather have them here a week ago on that. One, we don't have all the technology needs here yet to be set up and ready to run to be able to open the door tomorrow full time. I want to be here full time. If we think back to when we started this plan, we were in the hole about $800,000 for cyber education. Our plan has overcome that. We will be at zero when we're done with this. I just ask that we'll do whatever the board chooses on that. I would rather feel safe about what I'm doing and make sure we're guaranteed that it's going to work before we jump into something and just hope.
Can you go back over to me the entrance to someone?
Yeah, the buses are coming into high school. They're going to come in on Center Avenue and drop off down the road. So every bus out of K through 12 will come in this exit. All of our drop-offs will come in the same exit. We've always dropped off that down at the cafeteria on Siberian, and then blockers are all coming in elementary.
So you're designing two sets of processes, one set of processes for 1 week for the hybrid, and then turn around 1 week
They're going to
later.
be the same process. They're going to follow the same thing. We'll just have half teacher Monday, Tuesday, half Thursday, Friday, following Monday, every week.
Okay.
It would be exactly the setup that we would have for the week of 5th is exactly what will happen with 12. The kids who are cyber, they will learn, the schedule will be posted, and they will follow along the same way, just like our cyber kids will do when they return on the 12th.
I'm only asking, I guess I'm trying to understand. So if you have enough staff to be in homerooms whenever the kids get to their home, wherever they go, and to man 3 entrances.
We're working with security to make sure that that's there, where I have some pieces that I have to put some people in the hallways, that don't find minutes.
That's what I
Just
mean.
one,
It seems to me like like having one school of children coming from 3 different places seems like you have a lot of people that are gonna have to work to get them. And like, I guess I worry that you have elementary kids coming into the high school and walking through the high school. We're trying to cut down on how many people are in how many different places. It seems like everybody's doing more.
It is, but that was the only way to cut down, because normally we have every kid come through that one door, and they back up and stack on top of each other, and then we have police up here, because we have cars backed up, and everything else. It's not a good entrance here, so when we looked at how do we limit some of the numbers and make things quick as possible, because we are gonna attempt to check every child while they're walking through as well. So we will have stations with all of them, that take temperatures, getting their bags checked, going through metal detectors as well. So we back them all up and did all that, it would take us an hour. It's gonna back up a little bit now, but our plan, and that's part of my question, or request, to have that constantly happen to try to get through it. If we have any issues, we'll identify them there and fix and resolve those issues before we have the whole student body here doing time.
Question. So there's no way you could do that one hybrid week next week.
We don't have, if we got lucky and had all the technology, and what my plan is for next week is to have my teachers teach just like they would the following week, so they get a week to practice with that.
It's practice, it's great, but it's not helping the kids. I don't.
Well, the issue, and I will speak up for this, one of the biggest issue we have with our kids, they're not doing any of the live stuff. They're sitting at home. I've talked with numerous parents that are trying to complete forms without watching videos. Our teachers are available for 3 hours a day to do extra work. And we have very few kids, because I tried requiring them to do it, but I've got a lot of backlash from parents over this or that.
If I give them the building.
No, I agree. I would like to have them here 2 weeks ago.
What bothers me is you're just basically saying you want to mitigate risk by bringing the A, the L, whatever. So those are the people going risk, and then
It's not a risk, it's to go through to make sure that it's set up so that it works. I don't want 100 kids going down the hallway, it's not working. If I can do 50 to see what's not working. And like I said, if you guys vote to go full time with it, we'll make it work. I'm just saying, as I do things, and when I do the plan out, just like this plan we put together for being a classroom, I've always made sure that I'm trying to ensure for our population it's going to work. I can't assure the 12 if I don't have any practice before that can be started.
And I appreciate the fact that you'd like to do that, but I don't think the parents will appreciate that. I think the parents want their students here. I think the students want to be here. I think the staff is ready, and as far as your plan, it sounds like you're ready, and things might go wrong, but it might go wrong in 100. So, I don't know. I'm still stuck on the 5 days, starting October 5th. I mean, that's just like I said. I see my grandkids. I mean, I can say it as a personal reason too. They need to be in here. You know, and I know the parents feel that way.
Can I speak for a second? I agree with your plan. I'll back you up on that. The divide and conquer of the three emphasis, I agree with, but we're not going to talk this time. 1 week is 1 week. We have put up with a whole lot of stuff this March. I think they can handle 1 week. 1 week of time. 1 week. That's all they're asking. Just one. They're not asking for a month. They're not asking for 6 weeks. They're asking for 1 week. We have schools out here right now that are siren for 9 weeks. With no recommendation other than that. And that's what they're sticking to. We are trying to get these kids back in. I believe in what his staff, what he's trying to set up his staff. We're not in this field. He is. We're not. So 1 week of him asking for that, I don't think that is a bad decision. I believe a week is fine. It's just 1 week. We've been going through this since March. Do you want them in? We gotta get them in, right? 1 week, it's just 1 week. I don't understand why everybody's talking so much over 1 week after all these months. I don't understand it.
I've talked to a lot of parents. I talked to, the other night, I was looking my, back in my garage, I was still going to cast that. I think it's good now, and I think it's good in time. But the other stuff, I didn't understand. I need to go back to school so that I can see my teachers, so that I can ask questions. So that's what I think. That we go back full time in order to like, when we're talking about this, the administrators are from skill to switch, educators are able to switch and grade things whenever they need.
You're correct. They've been doing it since March and he has a plan. I wanted to scratch that out, start all over. Or the ones bought.
They are going to be bought. The elementary kids leave with the children on a harder school. They're not going to the line. Baseball kids are going to the line. Our kids are going to sit down in a line cafeteria staff. We either give them a full lunch or a hot lunch. Or whatever.
And you said that they're gonna be, that they're eating lunch in both cafeteria and gym, that way, like, it's the same group of classes that usually eat lunch together.
Yeah, it works this way. The kindergarten is going to start first grade being their second, third, fourth, fifth. So 3 grades a week, cafeteria, the elementary, 3 weeks down the line.
Because the reason for that is we absolutely have to stay from 6 feet apart. We have one cafeteria for the entire school. So we have no other choice but to separate them.
And then you have built-in time between those, so that your staff and all that stuff.
And we can start, there'll be extra tables, so if the next grade starts coming in, we can still pick part of it in there and clean it, just like we used to do with the cafeteria. When all came in, it was just a rotating schedule in there. So they come every 15 minutes, and if they come in, they'll start doing the other half, and have a half.
Okay, and then my next question is about, at one point, we were talking about class size in the high school, and there was an issue with history classes. Has that been worked out?
I'm not sure what you're referring to.
I was told that the history classes were the issue of, as far as how many kids were signed up to be in specific classrooms that they could not fit. So and there was some discussion about maybe they could hold it in the auditorium so they could space out and have those same groups on after that's been worked out.
Yeah, so we are gonna hold it in main classes in the auditorium if we can. I know staff's talking about moving classes outside, but history in general, I think with now the fact that we're not going to take masks off at all within the classroom, we'll be the best to say 6 feet apart, but it's just not going to be realistic 6 feet apart. So there are going to be smaller classes, that's good.
I just had a question for Dr. Keefer. It's my understanding that you and your staff are requested to leave hybrid in the
that was a compromise. If it were just you and your staff just had the decision, would a week be enough, or would you request longer, or was a week the compromise?
I think we originally had talked 2, but after talking with everybody and
I'm
going,
sorry.
I
Originally
apologize.
asked for how
Yeah.
many?
Originally, we had talked about 2 before we brought it out, and the compromise after we looked at it, because we thought there were other issues with other pieces of it. Like I said, really what we've decided is it's just the entrances, the exits when the kids arrive, leave, and the lunch times, as well as the elementary kids when we do use the restroom. So part of that goes through is we have one-way hallways. We're working with staff to make sure they're not using the hallway at the same time, so don't have to go the whole way up the second floor to use the restroom. So that's other part of it, that in 1 week, as we go through that 5-day schedule, we would then be able to make sure those things were all fixed before the entire student body was there.
Thank you. I think so. Why would you do that? That's not something about relations. Is it feasible to, so the, and I don't know the numbers, because that's my math to you, so I'm assuming that as far as we didn't have buses in the most amount of students,
Yeah.
right? Okay, so is there any way to cut that on elementary kids coming in the building, 3 different ways to go to? So you have kids that are walking, kids drop off, and then off the walkers go in, and the people that are dropping off the kids wait and send them on that line. I guess my concern is that you have a kid that is 6 years old that's coming from here the whole way through the building over there. Like,
No, I agree, but my biggest part is getting them in the building. If I have some people staff to volunteer to make sure we help them with that, maybe get 5th graders to help them with that. But the issue outside is the kids get held up there. We don't have much help getting outside the school because we have the metal detectors and we have all the other stuff going on there. If we go through this and we see after a week or 2 that numbers are down on one, we can definitely adjust that and have those kids come somewhere else if we can. One may be the elementary buses. If we have the other ones cleared up, we may be able to adjust that. We just did that because we don't know how many parents are going to choose to use the buses, how many are going to be driving in, as well as right now, usually when the weather's nice, we have a much higher percentage of walkers. As we get into the winter time, that'll definitely cut down because a lot of the kids who are walkers get driven into school. But that's not set in stone. That's the way we just set it up to start to make sure we had separation. If there's an adjustment we can make, we can definitely look at that. It would just be determined by the number of kids coming in each exit.
Mrs. Lovely, if I could expand on that. So as you know, many people have come to board meetings to talk about backup traffic in the morning. So when we use the main cafeteria entrance, not everybody follows the rules. So we have bus kids going in one way, car riders crossing then that little street to get to up the elementary lobby, and I cannot say to that. Because if people are impatient, they don't wait, they're zooming past buses, they're zooming past cars. And if we bring everybody there, you have someone outside, it's like, how many cars will we go? That's gonna cause backup, but we're gonna end up right back where we started with people complaining about the backup traffic. In addition, having different entryways to three groups was a mitigating factor recommended from the Department of Health and Department of Education. Unfortunately, our school is in the middle of the town with no parking either, so we don't have the luxury of backing around the building and entering to go a different way. So we're kind of in a unique situation. I agree with you that having a 5-year-old with a heavy backpack walk all the way down is not ideal. It's just we're so limited to the location of our school and the parking of our school and the complaints of traffic backup being in the middle of town. Does that make sense?
oh, yeah.
We're hoping that as the bus gets, they're all going to be going down and going down the ramp, so that the entire population coming off of these buses will still be flowing down the hallway, and we'll obviously have staff there as we get started.
And how would it get working?
We are really doing it. We'll be ready for them on that pack, just like they did when they came in. And talking with Ms. Walker, we will have a couple stations, just like the people.
And that's not okay. Take all the stuff, all that. But, so, I guess my concern, I'm still stuck on this entrance for elementary. So, we're saying that for them, it's gonna be really their first day of school, right? So we're asking kids that are 5 and 6 years old to get from, like, here to a specific kind of room to go to the big house really big.
We
I
may,
guess, that's, so I'll say this, I came in like 5 days, no matter what, because my son is at home texting me at school saying, when can we go back? It's terrible. But I guess my concern now is I don't have a little person at home. So I'm thinking if I drop off someone here, they have to get from here down the hallway, across the ramp, and get to their home room for the first time. Yeah, because I see them spread out, but they can't take my kid and take it to a home room without leaving someone else's kid stuck in the hallway.
And that may be, and that's part of that hybrid where we may end up when we get for the first couple weeks, they may come in here. If we need to use the auditorium for kindergarten on that, it would all go by what the needs of the kids are. They said, I'm hoping that as the whole bus comes through, we're gonna have fifth graders all the way down to kindergarten. We're gonna take the same path straight down to the ramp, and then we'll have staff there to help them. Normally what we did in kindergarten, which is they always sat in the cafeteria for the first couple of weeks of school, so that they could just gather them there. We may end up in here if we need possible. We see that they're wandering and we can't have that under control.
And I'm just thinking, you pick them done. I mean, like, so can all your kindergartners are somewhere or third graders around each other?
They are, but we have a one-way all the way up top. So like as they come in, they're gonna have to go down, K1, 2 will go down and walk straight down the steps because they will go that way. And then even like 3, 4, and 5, we're gonna have to go down the steps. And we talked about maybe making it 2-way, but we have walked. It's not ideal by any means to make any of this happen. And we may end up putting 2-way hallways and separate them like we did over the ramp if it's needed. It makes it easier for the kids to be able to stay apart.
That sounds poor people, they didn't have to take one down steps around the building.
Yeah, I think we had to look at when it was first recommended, I think we had 1-way hallways on that. But I just looked at that, came up with this rush today. We're measuring it down and we keep them near the hall, near the walls. We may be able to switch it up. They're still gonna be within 6 feet, but they're gonna have masks on. And when that whole family was the first time, we were still hoping that we didn't have masks on.
I mean, so like, when my son went here, he had a hot green paper, he came out of kindergarten and held it up, and that night at 4 his name. Is there any way that first grade can have a color that they come in with that they're tangible, so that when the teacher sees them, they know that they're supposed to go in this hallway towards these people, and that's where first grade is? I mean, like, we have to, for some of them, you need something visual.
Yeah, well, I mean, but it's gonna be all one train going down, there's a whole hospital, they're all going the same way. Like, it's different when they come over here, everybody's going in over here, down, straight down, and then we're gonna hit the ramp. We'll have people along here making sure we're moving along, but there will be teachers there helping get them into the correct grade. K1 to and it's, we do that every year, even when they come over the ramp, we always have a teacher station right outside the classroom there to make sure that K1, 2 goes down the steps, 3, 4, 5 goes that way. They're always there as well, and we'll probably have more there to start as we get into the class. But if we need to adjust it, we'll definitely adjust it.
Thank you.
All right, I'm something. So this entranceway is for,
Buses, they'll come in on the center and stop down here, and the kids will walk right up around.
couldn't it work like in that doorway, like up a little driveway that's by this bargaining room? They couldn't come in that way?
We don't have a metal detector.
Oh,
So it has to be the same. Yeah, well, because we have where the high school's coming in on that.
That's true.
So we did, like you said, we are gonna exit out of that entrance by Mrs. Margot's room, but it's not coming in, and it's on that part.
All right, and then my other question is about the plan again. I was thinking about what Alan said a little bit ago. So your plan is going to be the same when we go into 5 days. So the hybrid week, the only change is having half of them at a time. So your
Yes.
plan is still intact. You have an ideal plan.
Yes.
There's no problem with your plan. I don't have a problem with your plan. I have a problem with the hybrid. Your plan is, you have a plan. Everybody's ready. It's just, how do you do that practice?
But it's not really a practice on, like I said, the bigger part of that goes back to the 10 to 12%. I have 44 kids in the elementary who chose cyber education. It's the teacher's responsibility to teach them just like the same kids who are here. And we have not done that hand-to-hand on real-time instruction yet. It does not happen. We put live meetings up there and they met with them. But the plan moving forward is it will be a live stream through Google Meets. That they're watching the instruction while kids are in the classroom with them. We haven't done that yet.
What
That's
about
where
high
it is.
school? If you say 44% for the elementary or whatever.
44 is the number.
Yeah, number rather, yeah.
guys just see all the arrows we have in the hallway. We have the morning plans, teachers receive that. People are assigned to different spots for the temperature check, for the bag check. We have people assigned for all duty, as Dave was talking about, with the kids walking through. Obviously, it's different with a kindergartner versus a high school kid, but we're still going to try to take care of them, making sure they know where they go, especially the sixth graders. And just having kids understand that they may make a mistake in a hallway. It's okay to make that mistake as long as it's not on purpose. Because I've asked teachers a number of times to take a kid's schedule and walk the building, sure you can get from point A to point B. And some of it is difficult because of the one-way hallway. So that's going to be an adjustment without question for everybody. But I think our plans mirror one another with the live teaching and things of that nature. The benefit in our eyes to the hybrid early on was that you may be able to take your masks. That's no longer an opportunity. So whether you're in a hybrid or whether you're in full-time, everybody has to have a mask.
Well, I have total faith in both elementary and high school staff and administration. And I guess that's one of the reasons why I just feel the 5 days is the better way to get the students in here, because again, to me, that's a priority. And I don't think that it matters to them if they have 2 days or if they come back for 5 days. It's going to be challenging no matter what. Now, I'm done now. I won't say anything else. I apologize.
I have 2 questions.
I'm done.
Question one, I think, for Trish, I think this is the question. Do we have to make the same recommendation for the entire district, or can we make a high school versus elementary school? And then when we're done, I have a second question.
I think you probably could make a high school versus elementary school. Just with, I mean, as a practical matter, it might be hard to say.
And then the second question I have is, there's a lot of logistics about plan, there's a lot of logistics about the door. I can't contribute to any of that. I trust that you guys are doing the best you can. What is our plan for grief counseling if we lose someone? Well, I think we need to talk about it, because I just want to be really clear. The Starburn sheet was shut down this week due to multiple positive cases. Okay? I'm supposed to be on a 14-day quarantine, but because of technology, we couldn't figure out how to do it. So if any of you are worried about me being physically in this room, you should be worried about your children being physically in this room. So my question remains, what is our plan? And I'm going to be really clear. I'm going to be really, really clear. I want the kids in school. I want what's best for the kids. I want what's best for the community. I'm not saying I'm anti any of this thing. I think we need to really have a good plan. You said you can't make promises. You said there's likely going to be an outbreak. What is our plan if you lose either a faculty member, a student, or a caregiver of one of the students?
We have in our basic plan that all the staff has been agreed on, we have if there's a death of an employee, if there's a death of a student, we will follow that with the protocol of what we have from the experts in it, through our counseling staff, we have people that we contact, so we will follow that the same way we would for our strategy to go with her. I would prefer to follow. Yeah, it's in our base plan with the fire.
Yeah. So you're not gonna bring a no vote, right? You can, Anthony just asked if you're gonna bring a no vote right now. No, you have to have public comment, number one. Number two, it's on your agenda, so.
I have more questions now.
Yeah, it's already on the agenda.
It's on the agenda. We have to vote on it tonight. Melanie,
I mean, after all that's said, Mr. Rogers, question for you. Now, Mr. Keebler has a plan. Are you opposed to his plan of the one week practice? Are you willing to work with him?
absolutely,
And
no, I mean,
doing that for 1 week?
But
So then
we
everybody's
may not
working out.
agree with one of your team, and this next made a recommendation, and I'm supportive of that recommendation. But we will make hybrid work, we will make 5-day work, there will be bumps in the road on both. There are bumps in the road inside. That's a guarantee.
how you react to them, I think we'll react.
Okay, any other comments by anybody on the board? I just wanna, what I see is, if this is gonna come up to a vote, and on the vote, the plan, proposed by Tiffany was multi-timer, and then going to full-time, face after that. But what I hear from going full-time on October 5th, I see that, Ms. Stewart, Mr. and Ms. Lovelace, and Mr. Shea, all would like to know. I say this is a straw vote.
No,
I thought we had a public discussion about that.
yeah, we're not,
Did you just say that?
we're not gonna do straw votes or anything, I mean, the vote will be what it is, it's on the agenda right now.
So,
as-
lovely.
Yeah, as the recommendation that's made by Ms. Nix, so, when it comes up for the vote, at that point, after you hear public comment, you can discuss it again, if you want to at that point. You don't have to, but you can, and you'll vote on it as it's recommended, that's what's on the agenda. If that fails, then somebody can make a difference.
Then it's all running after that.
Right.
Good.
It's every family still can choose to convert what they choose, correct?
That is correct.
Okay, any other board committee reports? Remarks by visitors?
I have none. Officer, do we have anyone outside?
No, ma'am.
I'm sorry.
No, we don't.
Okay, thank you. We have one visitor.
Okay, under new business, under personnel. A motion is needed to hire Ms. Dina Turner to the position of Director of Business Affairs, effective October 12, 2020, at an annual salary of $95,000, as presented in Exhibit A. Do I have a motion? Comments? We have Ms. Turner here. All those in favor? Against? Abstentions? Motion passes. Congratulations, Ms. Turner. You want to just stand up and just stand up and move?
Thank you, board members. I appreciate this opportunity. I'm looking forward to joining your team and working in collaboration with the administrative team here. Thank you.
Thank you. A motion is needed to approve the following non-athletic supplemental positions for the 2020-2021 school term. Michelle Ferretti, Community Service Coordinator, Michelle Kurlock, Junior Class Advisor, Split, Tiffany Nepshill, Junior Class Advisor, Split, Eve Hebrank, Senior Class Advisor, Split, Ashley Mondell, Senior Class Advisor, Split, Jacob Rojic, Stage Manager, Nancy Torella, Stage Manager, Amy Barney, Student Council, High School Advisor, Patty Osborne, Student Council, Junior High Sponsor, Tanya Shabani, Video Club, Stephanie Flynn, Yearbook Advisor, Minitos. Do I have a motion?
Second.
Comments? All those in favor? Against? Abstentions? None, the motion passes. Thank you.
Number 2.
Sorry. Thank you.
3, a motion is needed to approve the following athletic and volunteer supplemental positions for the 2020-2021 school term. Ben Fiore, volunteer boys soccer coach. Zoe Rosenberger, volunteer color guard assistant coach. Teresa Edinger, game day worker fall sports. Nancy Torella, game day worker fall sports. Dennis Wolf, game day director fall sports. Bill Rua, game day worker fall sports. Frank Apollo, game day worker fall sports. Corinne Linkus, game day worker fall sports. Paula Moore, game day worker fall sports. Jacob Oberdorf, game day worker fall sports. Ann Fisher, game day worker fall sports. Mike Young, game day worker fall sports. Christy Schaefer, game day worker fall sports. Tanya Shabani, video club, game day worker fall sports. Do I have a motion?
So moved. Second.
Comments? All those in favor? Against? Abstentions? Motion passes. Thank you. 4, a motion is needed to approve the following substitute positions for the 2020-2021 school term. Joyce Swank, custodial substitute. Mariah Galbraith, custodial substitute. Jeremiah Mendez, custodial substitute. Do I have a motion?
Second.
Comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Against? Abstentions? None. Motion passes. Thank you. Number 5, a motion is needed to approve the consultant business manager agreement. Do I have a motion?
Second.
Comments?
How many days was this for? There's no specific date, it's, till Ms. Turner decided to she no longer needs it. We are only going out of this area for 7 days, which is wonderful, right? So we thought it would be 6 days, so I'll take that. So he will do minimal work in 7 days for the purchase order, probably very necessary, and then after that, it's actually with Ms. Turner. Especially when quarterly reports come for the first time, which is very much like that. It'll be, it's not. Thank you.
Ms. Rodriguez, a second on that?
Yes, I do have.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Against? Abstentions? Motion passes. Thank you. Under B, Finance, a motion is needed to approve the 2020-2021 Southwood Psychiatric Hospital Inpatient Care Facility Services Agreement for provision of academic tutoring services as needed as presented in Exhibit B1. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second. Comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Against? Abstention? Motion passes. Thank you. A motion is needed to ratify the 2020-2021 Armstrong School District Special Education Services at Lenape Area Vocational Technical School as presented in Exhibit B2. Do I have a motion? Comments? All those in favor? Against? Abstentions? Motion passes. Thank you. 3, a motion is needed to approve OZ Enterprises LLC for repairs, upgrades to the cafeteria air handler unit at a cost not to exceed $8,400 for a co-star's agreement as presented in Exhibit B3. Do I have a motion? Second. Comment? This is, as mentioned before, for the cafeteria. All those in favor? Against? Abstentions? Motion passes. Thank you. A motion is needed to approve the Catapult Learning Agreement for provision of Title I remedial reading services to eligible students attending Mary Queen of Apostle School for the 2020-2021 school year as presented in Exhibit B4. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Against? Abstentions? Motion passes. Thank you. A motion is needed to acknowledge receipt of the following financial reports and to ratify, approve the expenditures specifically set forth therein. Cash receipts, Exhibit B5, tax collector's report, Exhibit B6, list of bills, Exhibit B7, treasurer's report, Exhibit B8, revenue detail report, Exhibit B9, monthly expenditure report, Exhibit B10, access report, Exhibit B11, construction account update report, Exhibit B12. Do I have a motion? Comments?
Before I ask my question,
What question would that be? For what you handed out last week?
Yeah.
No, that is, the question, this was, the question, if you have something related to expenditures, but, the question you handed out last week, we were discussing in second session, I'm sorry to get here, but, that is in the discussion session and not in the voting session.
Do you have a question specific to one of these exhibits? If you do, then now, if you need to ask a question in order to go, then yes, now is the time to do it. My understanding, Lisa, was that you were asking about, putting on an agenda item to discuss financial issues, which would be done then at the work session, not executive session, but the work session at the next meeting.
Okay, then I do have one question regarding the construction account update. understanding that on one of our reports, it came through that laptops were under a construction account, and that's why I was asking the question.
If that was the reason before the use, that would be correct. All laptops this school year have been paid out of our general fund, more importantly, out of all grant money you receive.
So right here, it says construction, and it says computer check for $175,000.
Oh, I see
It says-
that makes it
Computer
fine.
check.
Wait, Brad, can you come up?
No, I know what she's talking
Is
about.
that the computer checks?
I don't even see, I know exactly what she's talking about. Those are the checks cut to the contract. They are called computer checks on the report, and those are for the vendor's payment for the field. Computer checks are hard checks that are cut.
So, in the construction fund, it says ending balance $692,000.
That's correct.
And that started as a $1.6 million project. So how much have we spent down? It says total disbursement is $175,000.
Those are the checks previously approved by the board for the vendor payment, money for bleachers, and the renovation project for summer and fall.
So over $175,000 of the project money has already been spent.
Those are the final payments the board previously approved.
I don't know how else to ask this question. How much money is left in the original $1.6 million grant to update the field?
Your ending balance is $690,000.
We've spent $1 million? Wasn't it a $1.6 million project?
1.6 was the total money, yes. However, the district did move forward with saying they would spend $405,000 out of local district effort, which moved that down to a $1.2 million project one. So we have roughly $700,000 left, $500,000 difference. That's correct.
Thank you.
All those in favor? Against? Abstentions? Motion passes. Thank you. Under gifts, grants, and donations, a motion is needed to approve the gifts, grants, donation request from the Leesburg Area School District for donation of a bookshelf at an estimated value of $400 from the Leesburg High School Library to the Leesburg Public Library as presented in Exhibit C1. Do I have a motion?
Second.
Comments? All those in favor? Against? Abstentions? Motion passes. Thank you.
Wait, Karen?
Yeah, okay.
I have.
And Patty, you know, Miss Lovely, last, she wasn't here for B5 and C1, so that, 5 is 8-0, and there's a 7-0 with one exception. Thank you. She's back now, so. I don't know, big one, sorry.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you letting me know. I did not know she was on.
Okay, under legislative issues, a motion is needed to amend the following policies for the school district policy manual. Amendment to Exhibit D1, Policy 103, non-discrimination, discriminatory harassment, school and classroom practices. Policy 104, non-discrimination, discriminatory harassment, employment practices. Policy 247, hazing. Policy 249, bullying, cyberbullying. Policy 252, dating violence. Policy 317, conduct disciplinary procedures. Policy 824, maintaining professional adult student boundaries. Do I have a motion?
Second.
Comments? All those in favor? Against? Abstentions? Motion passes. Thank you. 2, a motion is needed to approve the first reading of the following policy for the school district policy manual. First reading, Exhibit D2 is policy 309.1, telework policy. Do I have a motion? Comments? All those in favor? Against? Abstentions? Motion passes. Thank you. Under board-related issues, a motion is needed to amend the 2020-2021 Health and Safety Plan effective October 5th, 2020, as presented in Exhibit E1. Do I have a motion?
So this is the going back on October 5th.
Do we have that motion before we get
Okay,
started?
Second.
Comments? This will refer to the plan as referred to, as presented by the administration, is 1 week hybrid starting October 5th, going back October 12th to full-time face-to-face. Is that correct?
You know, can we get a roll call on that?
Well, we will after we have any comments.
I think it pretty much all said our comments whenever we had it.
Okay, I don't know if there was any.
No, I think my thoughts is clear. I don't think anybody needs to hear me again.
Same here.
Okay, can we have a roll call vote this time?
Ms. Toledo,
Yeah.
Mrs. Gregory,
No.
Mrs. Knight. Wait, I want to know what do you know?
You're voting
How
on
many is hybrid or,
It's 1 week hybrid, October 5th.
so everyone's saying there's a 1 week hybrid?
Well, they're just saying no to the plan, without a plan. I mean, they don't, you know, not that, I mean, whatever their reason is, they're voting on. And they don't have to, like, you know. Well, right now, we're just, they're just,
This is nice. Yeah. This is Lovelace, no. Mr. Lovelace, no. Mr. Shea,
No.
Ms. Stewart, no. Ms. Paulson, yes. Mr. Brady.
Yes.
Made and approved.
The motion is not passed.
okay, so now somebody can make a different motion, so you can say, you know, I'm just gonna throw this out there, but I don't know what the vote will be, but, you know, you've got to vote on something, so just based on your discussion, somebody can make a motion to amend the 2020-2021 phase school reopening health and safety plan effective October 5th, 2020, to bring students back full-time 5 days a week.
You know, I'd like to make that motion, basically starting October 5th, bring kids back full day.
Okay, so we have a
That's a motion that needs to be seconded.
Second.
comments?
I just want to say, and I think they understand, I do appreciate the plans that went into place for the hybrid. I understand your thinking. I just have my thoughts and that's what I'm thinking. So no, I don't want to say that any of your work went unappreciated or unwarranted. And if it turns out to be that way somehow, then of course not. But anyway, just thank you for the time you put into the plan.
I have full faith that the plan will work for all the kids.
Any other comments? If we have a roll call vote again, Ms. Hart, please.
Mrs. Gregory,
No.
Mrs. Knight, no. Mrs. Lovelace, yes. Mr. Lovelace,
Yes.
Mr. Shea,
Yeah.
Ms. Stewart, yes. Ms. Paulson, yes. Ms. Toledo, no. Mr. Brady.
I'll vote yes.
That does pass. It's,
Yeah, that passes with a 5-4.
you know, 6-3.
6-3. Okay, so the motion is to come back full-time on October 5th. And continue until, depending upon what the state, you know, other words, standard water or however that might fluctuate. So that motion passes. 2, a motion is needed to amend the 2020-2021 athletic safety plan as presented in Exhibit E2. Do you have a motion? So moved. Comments?
There was something in there, by the way, tonight, it was talking about, I guess, the people standing around the field, or I guess, in front of football. That's, there's some, I guess, talking about, like, not allowed to do that, right?
They're allowed to stand on the exit. We need them to stand apart, so that's what you're seeing on the front.
I mean, there was something in there, maybe I'm just, I thought.
You mean around the outside of the fence?
Correct, wasn't there something in the plan highlighted? That was a change?
I think it maybe says that we don't say we should do that, but we have no control over it.
Right, I'm just making sure there's not any change.
Now, the borough would have control over that. We have control over what takes place inside.
We don't have jurisdiction.
We don't have to.
I was actually asked my other part of that.
There was an issue with the orange down, band that was taken care of.
All those in favor? Against? Abstentions? None motion passes. Thank you. A motion is needed to approve the updated 2020-2021 bus drivers, bus driver substitutes, and bus aides. Do I have a motion? Comments? All those in favor? Against? Abstentions? None motion passes. Thank you. A motion is needed to authorize the board secretary to electronically cast the ballots for the 2020 PSBA officer elections from the slate of candidates as presented in Exhibit E5. Do I have a motion? Comments? We have the ballots in front of you, so we'll just have to sign those and turn those into this file before you leave tonight.
Mr. Brady, we did the PSP, item number 4.
Yeah, so let's vote on item number 5, because we have the motion and the second, and then we can go back.
I love that one. Okay.
All those in favor? Against? Abstentions? None motion passes. Thank you. I apologize. I saw busing twice and I skipped over number 4. A motion is needed to approve the updated 2020-2021 busing schedules as presented in Exhibit E4. Do I have a motion?
Second.
Comments? All those in favor? Against? Abstentions? Motion passes. Thank you. Ms. Story, do we have any old business? Communications? Other?
I have
Do we have remarks by visitors on items not included on the agenda?
Again, I have none.
Can we have the announcement and date and time and place of the following meeting?
There are no recess to reconvene meetings. Committee meeting includes the public works and business study meeting to be held on Wednesday, October 14th, 2020, 7:30, in the High School auditorium, with executive session 6:30 in the High School library. Regular board meeting scheduled for Wednesday, October 28th at 7:30 in the High School auditorium, with executive session 6:30 in the High School library. And that is a change of location from the previously approved forward schedule, so I will make note of that on the board of the building.
With that, do I have a motion to adjourn at 8:45 p.m.? Comment? All those in favor? Against? Abstentions? None motion passes. Thank you.